Assalamu alaikum again and Ramadan Kareem to everybody. My name is Marwan Ahmad. I am on the board of the American Halal Council. This is our third webinar this Ramadan. Since everything is going virtual, online, we decided to join the crowd in conducting these meetings and webinars. Well, today's webinar's title is World Halal Day. And we have good speakers who will talk about halal lifestyle, we'll talk about the history of World Halal Day, and halal lifestyle from also an Islamic religious perspective with Imam Yahya Hendi. So before we start the speakers, let me introduce you to the organization in case this is the first time you join us. So the American Halal Council is a US-based organization, and we are based in Washington, D.C. It is a nonprofit charitable organization. We are dedicated to promoting halal in the US, and our goal is to create more transparency in the halal market through education, research, and advocacy. Some of the programs include halal verification, halal market research, and halal education seminars, which we will talk in more details during this webinar, inshallah. You can learn more about us by visiting our website, americanhalalcouncil.org. So, without further ado, I'd like to start our three speakers with Brother Habib Ghanim, who is our board member and the President and CEO of USA Halal Chamber of Commerce. He's on the board of many national and international halal organizations, and including the World Halal Council. He will talk to us today about the World Halal Day, and because he was one of the founders of this establishment. So please welcome with me, Brother Habib.
Mr. President, with your permission, I would like for you to ask Imam Yahya Hendi to do an opening dua.
Imam Yahya? Unmute yourself, please.
اللهم يا رحمن ويا رحيم، اللهم يا عزيز ويا كريم، اللهم يا واحد يا أحد يا فرد يا صمد، نسألك الخير لهذا المكان، لهذا اللقاء وهذه المهمة. نسألك حسن النية وحسن العمل، وأن يكون فيه الخير للأمة وللبشرية جمعاء. Almighty One, the one of mercy, the one of compassion, the one of love, the one of the glory, we ask you that you may bless this gathering of ours, that you may bless our intention and our motivation and the agenda and the work we are undertaking for only your sake. الله الرحمن الرحيم، الحمد لله رب العالمين، والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد، وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وأن محمدا عبده ورسوله.
Thank you very much, Imam. Assalamu alaikum, everybody. Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, just like Marwan said, the president of the American Halal Council, I have been involved in halal for about 29 years now, going 30 years. And we started the World Halal Council about 20 years ago, formally. And in 2013, when we were meeting in Istanbul, our patron, Dr. Hussein, who is the head of GameDesk, another organization in Turkey that also does halal certification, the executive committee met and we decided to do something special about halal. And then there was somebody else who suggested November 1 every year, but since our patron reminded us that halal is every day, it's not only one day. It's just like Mother's Day or Father's Day. It doesn't happen only one day, but we chose the 17th day of Ramadan, so that there are reasons for it. Why we chose 17th day of Ramadan? Because it was revealed in the Battle of Badr in Surah Al-Anfal in 69, which was the first war between us and the non-believers on the 17th day of Ramadan in the year 624 after Hijrah. So what does our Lord say in this ayah? Consume what you have taken from war booty as lawful, and fear Allah. Indeed, Allah is forgiving and merciful. So it became a resolution, and we all decided that since halal was losing its significance, you know, people are making it more commercial than really what it should be. We decided to use that day to do a lot of activities, to share and train and teach each other. We have been doing it now for about, I would say 7 years, but in the US, I've done it about 5 years. So all the members of the World Halal Council, we're about 40 or so certification bodies. Everybody does it in their communities. You know, you have iftar. Marwan was there last year. You know, he was also, you know, in the activities. I think he will share some pictures later on. The idea is to educate people. Why, when we invite people to eat, non-Muslims and Muslims, and then we talk about why we eat halal and what is halal. I don't want to go into those details because halal 101 has been repeated so many times. But generally speaking, can you hear me? Oh, yeah, Marwan is sharing pictures as I'm talking. This is from the World Halal Day last year at ISWA. The year before, I did it at MCC, and hopefully next year we will do it in Virginia with Marwan and Sister Sarah there, who will serve us some good steak this time. Halal steak, of course. In other words, if you want to raise a healthy, mature, public-spirited, patriotic, pious generation, we should begin whether we should eat halal and tayyib or whether haram. So if we want tayyib, which is halal, good, what is wholesome, in English we will call it wholesome. Some people call it good. That's Quentin Gray right there from the USDA. We have to care about the food and our earnings. Therefore, there are two concepts in this world. That's an officer too that got an award. We should not sound strange to anything. Halal is normal and is simple, and we should not make it complicated and use politics in it. It is very simple, like any others in Islam. It is related to our nature, and there are two options. One will be either to be a prisoner of your own desire and enthusiasm, or do what Allah has commanded and stay away from what He has forbidden. I will let Imam Yahya Hendi touch on that spiritual part because he's an expert. I know that very well. A normal person will use to do the commandments of Allah, which is eat halal and live a halal lifestyle and do not commit zina, do not commit adultery and all of those things. Then you ask yourself, when was the last time there was any halal substance in the food I ate? One of that's Imam Faisal, mashallah. One of the things that we do in halal certification is not only ensuring that the slaughter is by hand or by machine or the tasmiyah is said, but also if it is further processed, ingredients that are used, even the casings for the hot dogs or the hot dogs, for example, all the ingredients that they use in food, you will be amazed what kind of ingredients are used in in the food industry. Some, if I tell you, you will be scared. And thanks to Malaysia, Ibu Tati, I learned a lot in all the years from Malaysians and Indonesians and Singapore, but mainly Malaysia. They were the first to come to America in 1996 to approach me about the halal, to do halal certification. It was then that we started the mechanical slaughter of halal, and there was a fatwa on it. But there are some that accept it, some don't. But very few differences. The main thing is once you have met the two qualifications that the animal is halal, and you say the tasmiyah, and you do the proper slaughter, cutting of jugular veins and the trachea, the throat, and whether it's mechanical, only in the case of birds, then you have met Allah's commandment. So there is a list that I showed the last time. There was, and our president Marwan can, I don't know if you can share it now, but that's a subject that we did before about the ingredients. It's a long list that people need to know when you are buying even regular items, that you do not think of it as halal and haram. You will be amazed. So I would leave you with some hadith, you know, and now with this coronavirus, or what some people call it, the Chinese virus, we are all suffering, and we need Allah's help to protect us. We in the industry now are having issues about doing actual audits. We have our people on site. They're taking great risk to do the slaughter. May Allah reward them. It's not, like I said, it's not only meat and poultry. Sarah knows what I'm talking about. Sarah, I mean, sorry. I want to leave you thinking about certain things in life, that it is not only money, you know, that matters in life. So every year what we do, we have, and I think Sarah, we decided to do it in the end. We have a few people in our communities, you know, that we choose to give awards, and Marwan had showed you a few earlier. You know, we have names of few that were chosen this year. We have Hassan Idris, Abi Hussein. Everybody did many things in details, but I don't want to get into that because it's not in person, you know. We have Omar Wali, who has been very dedicated for over 30 years. I know him a long time. We have Jauru Balde, who works with the county government and the governor of Maryland, helping many, many communities, Muslim and non-Muslim, to get food. And then we have Sharif Al-Migaba. If you are online, forgive me, pronouncing Egyptian names are difficult to pronounce. You know, Sarah, forgive me. Okay, well, he's an officer in Montgomery County. Last year we gave it to Officer Graves at Iswa. This year we have another officer. Then we have Amira Badawi, who also helps with the American Muslim seniors. The first two I gave you were Concerned Muslims of America, local in MCC. Everybody's doing a wonderful job, but we cannot list everybody. So we choose around 5 to 10 maximum every year to give. Last year, Mama Muna from Egypt, who heads the American Muslim Senior Society, received an award. With that there, I can leave it open for questions, but Marwan, what do you want to do regarding these? So
yes,
at the end, right?
Inshallah, after Imam's speech, we will show the awards, and then we'll take questions and give answers when everybody's done.
I hope I kept my time. Thank you very much.
You did great. Thank you. Thank you.
And welcome everybody from overseas. I wanted to make a recognition of Ihsan Ovud. He's a very important person in the halal industry. He heads the halal standards worldwide, and he represents the International World Halal Summit, and also in charge of the Muslim Ihsan. From Ihsan to everybody, thank you very much. Next time we will get him on a different subject, but he has been very influential in making halal lifestyle and halal regulations be for Muslims as it should be. So, Ihsan, you're hearing us, so if you have questions, you can add later and tell us about yourself. So, thank you.
Okay, thank you, Brother Habib, and welcome, Brother Hassan, and everybody here with us today. So, part of our presentation today and webinar is to educate everybody about who we are, what we're trying to do.
Hassan is on the line now.
And for us to build this organization and expand it, we will need funding. And since we are a nonprofit, charitable 501c3 organization, any donation that comes to this organization is tax deductible. So I'm going to post a link on the chat. If you feel that you like what we're doing and you'd like to support us, please use it to contribute to the American Halal Council.
Marwan, I just see Ihsan. Do you mind giving him a 1 minute to say hello?
Yes, please do, Brother Hassan. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam. I'm a good listener, no problem. God bless you. Ramadan Mubarak, Kareem.
Ramadan Mubarak, Ramadan Kareem, brother. Thank you. Inshallah, we will have you as a guest in the future to tell us more about your good work.
Inshallah, biiznillah. Salam to all.
Thank you. My presentation is also going to be short, and it's going to talk about American Halal Council and what we are created to do for our community and businesses as well. So I'm going to touch quickly on the programs that we have. Then Sister Sarah Wali after me will talk about the research in a little bit more depth, which we will have a full webinar for this research project next week. So put that on your calendar. We'll send you the details soon, inshallah.
One more thing, if you don't mind, Marwan. We have Brother Yusuf O'Toole from UK. He's been a Muslim for about 30 years, and I met him in few things, and he has a valuable information in the halal lifestyle in the financial area. I just want to say hello to him.
Hello there. Nice to hear. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum
Assalam, Brother Yusuf. Good to have you with us.
Thank you very much.
So I'll go over the programs quickly. As I mentioned earlier, we are launching in 2020 the American Halal Market Research. And this project is to study the consumption of halal in the US from different perspectives, whether it's food, cosmetics, tourism, financial, and any aspect and angle of halal consumption among Muslims and non-Muslims. Again, Sarah will talk more details about it in the next session. The other thing we do as American Halal Council is educate our community and educate the public about what is halal. Because we believe halal is not just a product, halal is a lifestyle. And in order to do that, we conduct seminars, educational sessions and workshops with the public and for businesses as well. Because if businesses are not educated about halal, they cannot serve their communities the way they should be. The other program we have, it's called Halal Verification. This is in the works. And the goal of this verification is to monitor the retail aspect of halal, not the manufacturing aspect. This means we will be working with the retailers, hotels, restaurants, anybody who buys halal product ready from a manufacturer and sells it, we want to help them make sure this product is halal certified. It's not just a claim by somebody. So we would be auditing and issuing this verification to retailers to share with their customers, to give this kind of transparency and confidence in the halal marketplace.
Something similar to halal monitoring in UK.
Exactly. And the other item that we're working on is halal advocacy. And that means that we'll be working with government agencies to also educate them about halal and work on them on the possibility of introducing halal legislations to regulate the halal market in the US. So it's not a random market anymore that everybody can do what they feel they can do. It has to be monitored, audited, and certified by authentic sources that know what they're doing. And this is something we will work with partners, because we don't claim that we know and represent everybody. We will be working with other partners to make this happen and these legislations are introduced. I will go ahead and share our website quickly to show you the different programs which you can eventually visit and see yourselves. This is the AmericanHalalCouncil.org, World Halal Day. This here talks about halal verification for your business, and this talks about the halal research. These are probably the two most important projects. We have also produced a short video that explained halal verification in simple terms. I'm going to go to this slide here that shows the difference between halal verification and halal verification, certification versus verification. When we have a moment, you'd like to learn more, this
Go ahead, it's very important.
This is where it shows the certification process happens here, from the farm through all the way to the factory and processing and packaging. Our job as the American Halal Council is, after the factory certifies the halal product, whether again it's food, cosmetics, or other products, and goes down to the distributor, then to the marketplace, whether it's restaurants, hotels, stores. This is where we come in and audit and issue halal verification. This is something that will be available to everybody soon, once all the
protocols, they're working on the protocols, right?
Inshallah. The other thing I want to show you in terms of halal research, we have a diagram or infographics sheets that explains what is halal research in 2 different sheets and why it's so important. Who are we partnering with, which is ISPU, to conduct this research, led by very well-renowned people in the market, Maria Nagas and Dr. Dalia Mugahid, who done a lot of wonderful work in the research, Islamic research in the US, and they will take on this project for us in 2020. But in order for us to conduct this research, we need to raise $85,000. And this is where your support comes and play an important role for us to be able to launch this research. Quickly, the importance of this research to put halal on the map, because many businesses and governmental agencies will be looking for this information to basically understand the market and understand who's consuming halal. And we believe that 50% of halal consumption is done by non-Muslims in the US. But we need the data to prove this. And once it's proven, many American mainstream companies manufacturing will switch their product from non-halal to halal, which in return will mean that the halal prices will drop, because there is abundance of available halal products instead of few here and there that people have to pay prime prices for. So again, there is a lot more information on the halal research that Sarah will share with us, and we will give details next week, inshallah. I'm gonna stop right here. and move on to our next session with the Sister Sarah, who will talk about also halal research in depth.
Marwan, can we welcome Sister Fanny from South America?
Please go ahead.
Fanny Ocha from South America.
Thank you so much. I speak Spanish.
I know, it's okay. Just want to recognize you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for joining us, Sister. Is Sarah on the line with us?
Yes, Sarah is there.
Okay, because I don't see her up there. Okay, khair, inshallah. طيب, so Sister Sarah Wali is a board member with American Halal Council as well, and she's the vice president of American Halal Meat. She will talk about the American Halal research, market research that will be launching in 2020. Please welcome Sister Sarah.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam.
So, alhamdulillah, our family has been working in halal meat for over 30 years in the Northern Virginia area. And my dad, before that, was an international inspector for halal meat around the world. So there is no question on whether or not the halal industry is huge. It's massive. A lot of people are making a lot of money, but as consumers and as business owners, we still don't know a lot about the products that are being used and who's using them. Alhamdulillah, our faith is one of simplicity and ease. So, of course, Sheikh Yahya will talk to us a little bit more about this, about the different interpretations you can have on halal. But at the end of the day, halal products are halal products. And we really want to know who's selling them, who's buying them, and what we can do to promote them, not just in halal supermarkets, but in markets all across the nation. So as Marwan said, we're working with the Institute for Social Policy and Understanding, and they work on only Muslim issues in the United States. The study, of course, everyone is most focused in halal about food. But a halal lifestyle, as we see, we're celebrating here on World Halal Day, is about food and beverage, but then also how you travel, how you see the world, how you heal yourself, the health products that you're putting in your hair, in your body to make you feel better, the technology that you're using. Everything is getting very new. Which of it is halal, which of it should we be concerned about? Cosmetics, finance, fashion, clothing, media, all of these things have halal products. All of these things will help us lead a more halal lifestyle, but we need to understand them more. So because we know very little bit about it, we've decided to work with this very esteemed organization, inshallah, with these two lovely ladies. And hopefully with your help, we'll be able to put together a study that all of us can really benefit from. It's going to be, the way that they want to do it, just quickly, is to bring in 650 Muslims and 1,000 members of the public. The survey is going to assess current use and potential interest in the halal market. So we'll know what we're doing now and what we'd like to be doing. The goal is to recognize the needs of customers and strengthen the halal labels and the connection between the customer and the label. And with this information, we can really promote halal businesses across the US to Muslims and non-Muslims, and ensure that the halal products are available across the country. So we want to be in a sense of, we know the label that you get, you know what it says, you know what it means, you know what you're getting, you're comfortable with it, and basically you can get it anywhere. So inshallah, from this market research and with your assistance, we'll be able to understand the market size, we'll understand the halal consumer better, we'll understand the products that they're interested in, and what regions are strongest in the need for halal products and providing these products, and where we can actually have more work or more assistance. So it's really something that we're hoping could assist the whole Muslim community. It's this research that could start here and move across the world. But at the end of the day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the first thing he told us when he brought the message to Rasulullah was Iqra. So we are required to learn as much as we can and to know as much as we can so we can make the proper decisions. And that's why today, alhamdulillah, we have in our event, Brother Habib, he's giving us an international view of what's happening and a lot of what the people in the halal industry are doing. Brother Marwan is working very, very hard to make sure that things like the American Halal Council have an impact in the community. Brother Akhi Yahya is telling us how to do this in the most lighted way from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So inshallah, this is going to be a wonderful first step for all of us to get to know each other a little bit more and our community to really come together and have an impact and show the world what halal really is and how we can all benefit from it. Alhamdulillah.
Good.
Jazakallah khair, Sister Sarah. A very good presentation. I know there is a lot to share in a short time because we want to give our guest speaker enough time to address the halal lifestyle issue. Before we move on, I'd like to share the donation button again on the chat. Please, if you haven't seen it or want to try it out, feel free to do so. And before we move on, I'd like to share something we're excited about, and I hope you would be too. We purchased these face shields that we will be donating to halal stores. So the workers at the halal stores will be protected when they serve the community and their clients. We bought 50 of these, and through Sarah's connection and the driver that go to about 200 halal stores in the area, they will be passing these to halal store workers. We want to make sure they're protected because they're serving us. So this is our small contribution to the community. And because of some generous donors, we were able to purchase these. And we also have a special fundraising campaign on launchgood.com just for these shields, because we want to just expand this distribution to stores beyond Washington, D.C., Virginia, and Maryland. We want to go national if enough people contribute to our campaign to distribute and donate these shields. Let me next introduce to you Imam Yahya Hendi, who's with us online. Imam Yahya Hendi is well known in our community and nationally and internationally. He's a chaplain and a director for Muslim Life. He is a member of the Public Policy Conflict Resolution Fellows Program of the Center for Dispute Resolution of University of Maryland School of Law and Maryland Judiciary Mediation and Conflict Resolution Office. Imam Hendi is a founder and president of Clergy Beyond Borders. His undergraduate and graduate education was in Islamic studies and comparative religions with interest in interreligious dialogue and relations. Please welcome with me Imam Yahya Hendi.
الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا وحبيبنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. My honored sisters and dear brothers, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is my honor to have been asked to speak to you. I want to thank all of you. I know this is a busy time for all of us in Ramadan, and knowing that we have people from all over the world, so each one of you has his or her own time zone here, and to have logged into this program, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reward you for every minute and second you spend here. I want to thank those who invited me, Brother Marwan and the American Halal Council, and I second your urge for people to support you financially. I think it's a good cause, and I think we need to support it. Now, when Sarah was speaking, she got me to think about something that was not on my notes to talk about. Surah Al-Rahman. Surah is much related to this subject, and I hope that we can discuss it some other time. Maybe I can write a paper on the relationship between Surah Al-Rahman and the halal lifestyle. Here you have Allah reminding us of Him being Ar-Rahman, the source of compassion. And then that compassion and mercy is connected with the concept of ilm, knowledge, data, information. Quran reading, al-insan, because al-insan maddat هذه الشريعة, that the focus of this discussion is on the human being, who is the consumer, but also the producer. And we can best see the compassion of the divine, of God, in the knowledge that God has revealed to us, in the book that he has revealed to us, but also in the making of this human being. And whatever we produce will impact the life of this insan, this human that God has created. And anything we do will enhance that mercy and compassion that we see in the human person or undermine it. And therefore the food, the drink, the juices, the business, whatever it is we are talking about, will either enhance the human person that God created or undermine it, and therefore undermine God. And therefore, I believe this project that we are all up to is the very manifestation of divine mercy and compassion on earth. We're trying to serve that خلق الإنسان, the insan, the human that God has created. علمه البيان. Here is talking about eloquence and communication. Every product we produce, every product we consume has to be well communicated to the consumers. Meaning, we might lie, we might tell the truth. What is it that in the fine line of those products, does it serve al-insan? Does it do compassion and mercy? Allah gave us the ability to do bayan, the ability to do communication, the ability to communicate with the consumers, the ability to communicate with the producers, and it has to be in the best possible way, because we have the ability to do that communication. And I say this because much of what we buy does not do justice to the product or to the consumer. Often we are sold things that we should not be consuming. And how do we therefore bring about a revolution to business industry, whereas it is shaped by compassionate ethics and compassionate morals that take into consideration the divine intent for our creation, but also the divine intent for the human being, whose protection is one of our goals as Muslims. The ayat that come after that, Shams and Qamar and Bahr and Shajar, the sun and the moon and the sea and the tree, the heavens and the earth, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts all of that in relation to the human being, in relation to the compassion of God. And therefore the lifestyle we are trying to promote is a lifestyle that takes into consideration the insan, the human being, but also the environment that we are dealing with and trying to use to consume things. Because we are consuming animals, we are consuming fruits and vegetables that come from the earth, fish that comes from the sea. And therefore, the way we undermine or treat this earth justly and professionally and compassionately is what we're talking about. I know this is a big topic that could be a discussion for other times, but this is what I call liberation theology on environment and lifestyle. We need to liberate how we think of this earth and our connection to it. However, after that talks about fakiha and hab, talks about the fruits, talks about the earth, talks about seeds that we use to plant, to produce, and to consume. However, what fascinates me after that, 3 ayahs mention the word mizan 4 times and the word qist 1 time. Mizan means to balance and qist means justice. Therefore, we cannot have a good Islamic Muslim lifestyle unless, number 1, it does compassion and mercy. Number 2, unless it does justice. And when I say justice, I mean justice to the earth, justice to the product itself, and justice to the consumer. Now, if you put all of this data together, you come up with what I would call a full paradigm a full framework by which we think about this halal industry that we are trying to think about, halal lifestyle we're trying to talk about. And therefore, I say the word halal is the most abridged, wronged term in our Muslim dictionary, because we only use the word halal to refer to food, when it's supposed to be, as all of you said, not only food. When we say halal, we live a life, we mean a lifestyle that has something to do with our relationships, as you find in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 275, or in business, as you find in Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah 228, or in food, as you find in the Quran in Surah Al-An'am 162, or Surah Al-A'raf 31. And therefore, how do we reclaim the word halal, not to mean only food or in reference to food and what we consume by our stomachs, but rather how do we live our life in accordance with the ayah, قُلْ إِنَّ صَلَاتِي وَنُسُكِي وَمَحْيَايَ وَمَمَاتِي لِلَّهِ رَبِّ الْعَالَمِينَ, which means say, oh, my prayer, my sacrifice, my life, and my death are all for Allah. And therefore, the way I live the way I do my financial, economic decisions, the way I do my marital relationships, the way I interact with my food, the way I look, the way I behave, the way I eat, the way I drink, the way I sleep, the kind of news I consume or do not consume, the kind of IT I use or consume, all has to fit this paradigm of halal lifestyle. Filming industry has to be like halal lifestyle. Entertainment has to be halal lifestyle. Food and finance and so many others. Now, when it comes to the food, I know, by the way, you know, I'm an imam. It's your bad luck. I can't talk. I love talking. I could take 3 hours talking. I see Sarah laughing. So that's good.
Well, I'm happy. No, I'm loving everything that you're saying is amazing. Alhamdulillah.
Allah yabarak fiki, Sarah. You know, what matters for me here when you really look at the ayat, يَسْأَلُونَكَ مَاذَا أُحِلَّ لَهُمْ قُلْ أُحِلَّ لَكُمُ الطَّيِّبَاتِ. They ask you, because the early Muslims, they want to really to know how can they live the lifestyle that is pleasing to God, the lifestyle that is in accordance with this amazing revelation of the Quran and the Hadith. And the ayah says, say, at-tayyibat. Tayyibat, that which is good. The ayah here does not only use it to refer to food, by the way. And if you go back to the ayat of the Quran, it does not only refer to food or meat. It actually referred to how we live a lifestyle that is tayyib, that is good, that is perfect. That's number one. Now, even the ulama who understood the word tayyibat to refer to food, they did not say it only refers to meat, the ethics of meat and how we deal with meat. It's the ethics of how we eat, Number two, I dare to say that it's not only the ethics of consuming, but also the ethics of production, of producing that meat has to be halal. If we take into consideration Sharia and maqasid al-Sharia, one of the maqasid al-Sharia of Islam is al-maslaha, the concept of interest of the human being. And therefore, whatever we produce has to serve the interest of the human being. And when I say the interest of the human being, it's the physical interest of the human being, the health interest of the human being, the mental interest, the emotional interest, and the spiritual interest of the human being. So what about a meat that is prepared by Islamic standards? By the time it got to the consumer, it has been mixed with pork or with alcohol. That does not make it halal, obviously. And therefore, how can the process be halal from day one to day last, from A to Z? I'll give you an example that Muslims don't think about, that I think we have to think about as Muslim ethicists. As Muslim scholars who deal with ethics, we have to ask the question, what makes it tayyib and what makes it halal? I dare to say Bismillah is an issue that we need to talk about, and it's important. To make sure it's goat or sheep and not pork, we have to talk about that too. But we also have to talk about and be concerned about how did that animal grow up? Did it grow up on hormones and chemicals? And therefore, we are producing not really full animal, but rather hormones, and therefore affecting the maslahah and the interest of the human being. This is a part of how we think as Muslim ethicists on the issue of halal and haram. Because I know that many Muslims are consumed by who slaughtered it and whether the name of Allah was mentioned on it. And I say that's maybe 5% of it. But the other 90% of it is, how did the animal grow up? Number two, did it grow up humanely? Meaning, how was it treated when it was born and when it grew up in the fields? And was it treated with respect and dignity? Because there are so many hadiths and ayahs about the need to treat our fellow creatures humanely and with compassion and with mercy. There's so many hadiths about that. I don't have the time to discuss in this context, but we have to take that into consideration. And we have to make sure before we certify a specific meat that it's halal, we have to make sure of how it was born, where it was born, how it grew up, and how it came to us. And therefore, from the womb of the mother to the mouth of the consumer. I want to bring another point that I don't see many Muslims talking about it, the concept of social justice. What do I mean by that? The person from whom we bought the animal before it was slaughtered, was he or she paid in full? Number two, were their needs taken care of? Or is it always the interest of the big Uncle Sam? All they care about is making money, buying something the cheapest, and selling it with a lot of money to make a lot of the money for the big bankers and the big business owners, if you know what I mean. On the expense of the poor, on the expense of the person who raised that animal. That's number one. What about the employees? Where they paid in full, not only minimum wage. For me, the fight to raise minimum wage is an Islamic fight. It's an ethical, religious, Quranic fight. It's not a fight, it's a fight for the soul of Islam. We don't only fight to make sure there is justice in Palestine, but rather also that there is justice to those employees. Have they been treated well? Do they have medical insurance? For me, that's a part of halal lifestyle, even with food. Number two, were they paid in full? Number three, do they have a retirement plan after that? I think these things are a part of the whole process by which we certify a specific product, whether it's halal or not. To conclude this, Imam Ibn Qayyim says this. He says, الشريعة مبناها على العدل والرحمة وما نزع منه أيا من هذين فليس من الشريعة في شيء. For anything to be built on Sharia, to be Sharia binding, it has to meet two criteria. Number one, mercy and compassion. Number two, justice. For anything to be certified as halal, when it comes to food, we have to make sure that there is mercy and there's compassion to the product, to the consumer, and to the person who prepared it for us. And justice. Are they paid well? Are they not paid well? And how did that product come to us to start with in order so that we may consume it? And therefore, I'm really talking about revolutionizing the ethics of halal certificates to be inclusive to the product from A to Z, from the moment we think of it to the moment it is consumed. I hope that was I hope, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes, and I hope
it's okay. Marwan, can I have 1 minute to respond to Imam Yahya? This is why Marwan and Sarah mentioned about the difference between certification and verification. For about 25 years now, we have been involved in the actual certification, and we follow standards of JAKIM, MUI, Majlis Ulama, and the Gulf Cooperation Council. There are specific standards that you mentioned from the life from how the animals are treated all the way to how they are slaughtered. So if I will just mention our website, you can go to US Halal Certification to see the details, ushalalcertification.com. The certification process is there where we have definite standards that we follow that are accepted worldwide. World Halal Council was the first to give the basic ones, but now we have ISO and GSO, and Brother Ihsan, who is with CIMIC and the Muslim League, not the Muslim League, the World Muslim Society, you know, they are working on an international standard just for halal. I think Marwan said that Ihsan Ovud would do something separately on that one. But yes, you are right. We have many things that we've missed, but with the certification, that's why it's important to make sure when you buy, you ask for a certificate. Some people just tell you, my name is Muhammad Khan, I'm a Muslim, so it's halal. I don't want to get into that. That's a complete different subject because we have many dishonest people among ourselves, which we have to accept too. So to answer your question, Imam Yahya, there is a standard that we follow. We cannot do it in even 1 hour. We have the ISO and the GSO standards and the CIMIC and the Turkish standard and Malaysian standard. So it is there. But the other things, the other minor things need the verification process for people in the market or in the supermarkets or in the restaurants, which is what is part of what the American Halal Council is about. So I just want to let you know that once you have a halal certificate from a recognized entity, not just anybody who claims they are halal, it must be recognized and accredited by international standards, then you're okay. Now, I will let Marwan proceed. We're about to do the award, right?
Yes, just Jazakallah khair. Before we move on, I'd like to welcome a couple of people with us. Dr. Akram Al-Zind, President of Muslim American Society, Washington, D.C. chapter. Welcome on board, Doctor. I see you there. And also Brother Tawfiq Ridani from Arshitas. He's in Turkey now, but I know he's based in Washington, Seattle. They are a blockchain company that are doing a lot of good work for the halal industry. So to present the awards, I know Brother Habib.
Yes, like I said, Marwan showed you some pictures of last year, and because of the Chinese virus now, we cannot be together. So this is, the first one goes to Sharif, the policeman. If you are on board and you don't want to be recognized, but we will mail it to you. That's number one, Sharif. He's a policeman and does all the wonderful work in the community. Omar Wali, nobody needs to introduce him. He's been here for over 30 years, helping and assuring that there is halal in the meat, especially the meat, beef and poultry. Next. Okay, Jauro Balde works with the Montgomery County government. He is from Gambia in West Africa, and he's helped a lot. Hassan Idris is with the Concerned Muslims of America, and he has done, we do a lot of sadaqah and other activities, educational too. He's done quite a bit with his friend who just passed away recently, Abdullah Ayalola. May Allah. And Amira Badawi is with the American Muslim Senior Society. Last year we gave Mama Muna a presentation, and Abi Hussein is with the CMA. By the way, like I said, if these are the awards, people will receive them physically, but since we cannot do it in person, I would like maybe Marwan to show just once more, just one or two pictures of what happened last year. Hopefully, inshallah, next year, there will be no COVID-19 or COVID-20 and we can do it physically. There you go. Some quick slides. Yeah. This was done as a policeman. There you go. Yeah, that's from USDA and the staff. So that's it. Next year, Imam Yahya, pray for us to have a nice Ramadan together, inshallah.
Inshallah.
So let's move on to the questions and answers session. So if anybody has a question, you can write it in the chat, or you can just unmute yourself and ask your question. Feel free. Any questions?
Anybody, whilst we're waiting, I just want to tell you that it is very important that we support this move, like Imam Yahya said, because I didn't even think of Surah Al-Rahman as that, but it touches everything. I think we need a special education on that later. I see many members from the Concerned Muslims of America, Sister Fauzia, Sister Latifa, and so many others. But like I said, because you did not get an award, it doesn't mean that you did not do anything. There is a limited amount we do every year, and it rotates. So please pray for us. I see some members in my staff in the office, Safia and Ali and Fatima and Iman and others. So I thank you all, and we're waiting for any questions. Brother Yahya, if you have anything. I know I have had many, over 30 years, and we started from...
It's 7 o'clock.
Oh. Okay. Did you stop me?
No, keep going.
Ah, all right. I had a notice there. Okay, what I'm trying to imply that, yeah, this thing did not happen in a day. It started many years. We were doing it loosely. When we started, we were only concerned about meat. Now it has gone to other things. And if you're on the mailing list, Marwan can also send you the ingredients that we look for. There is a whole process. Now we have to start to the new era of auditing, remotely, which is because some people cannot go to certain plants now. It's getting complicated. And I see brother Dr. Awal from UK. If you want to say a few words, because you are in England, you are in the meat industry, and you also do educate people on halal. I don't know, I just want to recognize you, Dr. Awal from UK. Okay, I think he's muted himself. Marwan, are there any questions? Because I can keep going on. I see Peter from IQuest. They also do training. They are not Muslims, but they are involved in the standards and the ISO and the different standards of the world that have been taught. We have so many. The best standard that we have to touch on is GSO 993, and that is that touches on what Imam Yahya talked about. And Dr. Ali, Muhammad Ali from Dubai. Assalamu alaikum. He's from Egypt also, another Egyptian here. Sarah, I think your dad knows him.
Brother Habib.
Marwan, you have to introduce Dr. Muhammad Ali. He is one of our accreditors, and he worked in this halal industry for several years. I would urge you to give him at least 1 minute. Dr.
Please.
Muhammad, unmute yourself.
Help yourself. Join us.
Unmute yourself.
I understand. Thank you so much.
Assalamu alaikum, doctor.
Alaikum salam. Thank you so much. I appreciate your invitation, and I wish all the best health and enjoying the remaining days of Ramadan. It was interesting to attend with you guys, and it was useful information to myself too. Thank you, Mr. Habib, and your team, and for all the organizers.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, Dr. Ali. You have set the standards.
Thank you.
Alhamdulillah.
Allow me to introduce Brother Tawfiq Ridani from RHC, from the blockchain. They're developing a very important technology that's going to help basically monitor the process of halal production from the product, from the manufacturing all the way to the stores. If you may give us a quick introduction, Tawfiq, if you can hear me. Okay. I'm gonna. Okay. Looks like he's in Turkey, so he probably.
Yeah, sometimes they didn't unmute themselves. That's why.
All right. So any questions? We still have time.
Well, I know they have questions, but because of the limitations, you know, I see Abi Hussein and the people that receive their awards, they are online, but we cannot give it to them physically. But I can assure you it will be mailed to you. And I thank you all for accepting the award, because it is not in person, it's a complete different thing. Imam Yahya, you know, we thank you very much. We love you. You're doing a good job, you know.
I love you too.
I remember you when you didn't have a beard, when you were still young. Peter is online. He's also one of the instructors for the ISO standards. I think, Marwan, you met him before. Peter, are you there?
Yes, actually, Peter is on our advisory board as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been cut off somehow. You can hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I lost video. Anyway.
It's okay. Your voice is enough.
I'm not sure what I've done wrong here because
it's okay. We have Mohammed Ali from Dubai and Dak and Iyak on the line too.
all right. Well, this is a new picture for me from Zoom. Zoom is not responding. I got the audio, but the video is.
It's okay. The audio is fine. Peter, go ahead. We have 2 minutes left.
Yeah. Yeah. Anyway. Good question. I don't know what's going on here.
Okay, that's fine. He's having difficulty getting online, so we're all learning. Fanny from South America and our sister from Malaysia, she's gone to pray Fajr now. They're Fajr now. So, Ihsan, you want to give a little bit about CIMIC and what you do?
Zoom is not responding.
Can you unmute yourself, Ihsan? Unmute yourself.
Allow me to just thank Imam Yahya because he has to leave us.
Okay, all right.
Really appreciate his time and the presentation was really insightful. Thank you very much, Imam Yahya.
Well, I want to thank all of you for giving me the honor. I would love to work with you later on producing maybe an article that will discuss what I call the compassionate ethics of halal style, halal lifestyle.
Very good, very good. That is excellent. You need 2 hours for that, Imam. I know that.
Whatever I can do to help, let me know. The ability to bring about a universal standards to halal lifestyle is rather important, not only in service of Muslims, but in service of humanity. Marwan said earlier that many of those who consume halal products are also non-Muslims. But I dare to say that Islam is not only about what we eat, but how we make this world worth living in. And therefore, our ability to contribute to the larger common good, contributing to social justice, environmental justice, healthcare justice, economic justice, is rather important, inshallah.
Meanwhile, and Imam, Ihsan is working on that, actually. What you just said, the international halal, Ihsan, can you just say a little bit on that? Imam, before you leave, I know you have to leave.
Thank you. Thank you, brother Habib. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
And Marwan and Sarah.
For everybody. I'm glad to see many friends from several parts of the world, from Indonesia, Malaysia, Dubai, States, America, etc. I just want to say, nearly 5 years, we want to harmonize all standards in a right way, in a right path. Alhamdulillah, we reached, but the time is to make promotion and work together. In this AIAC is using our standard. We are very glad to see they are using the CIMIC standards. And Turkey started, and Malaysia is with us. And I hope Indonesia will change their mind because they're in the not right way. They still use the government to control everything. This is not the government market. This is the Muslim market. Should be operated by Muslim only, not by the government. Government is government. We can be religious or not. We are not sure. This market should be operated by Muslim and together. We are on behalf of the OIC, Organization for Islamic Countries, how can I say, mandated to elaborate, produce single standard for all Muslims, all over the world, not for the only OIC countries. Brother Habib knows us very well. Inshallah, together we will reach in a next 1 or 2, 3 years in a single standard and professionally do our job based on accreditation and certification, and produce new standard and make our life halal life, halal lifestyle. Thank you very much. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you.
For anyone to get hold of me, please take my email and telephone number from Brother Marwan, my email and Facebook, and I will be very happy to be in touch with you, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.
He's in charge of OIC, Organization of Islamic States, all. So you hit one stone, you get so many birds together. Tawfiq is back. Oh, mashallah.
I'm sorry, I had to take a phone call. I do apologize. Mr.
Marwan.
Mr. Ugut, how are you? I am in Turkey, Mr. Ugut. I got stuck in Istanbul.
Good. I am also in Istanbul.
Oh, yeah, I got stuck in Istanbul. So my first Ramadan in Istanbul. Many
at home.
You will eat a lot of fish. Nice fish, Hamzi.
Yeah, they have lockdown here, so it's now they started to open up, I guess. So inshallah.
Tawfiq, please tell us about your work and the blockchain and how it's going to streamline and make the halal market more transparent.
Well, basically, I had a chance to assalamu alaikum everyone, happy Ramadan, and I'm sure some of you are wearing your swimming suit with nice suits up. This is very amazing to do meetings online. Here, of course, I have explained, I had a chance to meet with Mr. Marwan at the Halal Expo Summit in Turkey. We started back in 2018, our platform, just the time when Halal Chain and other brothers, they started also what's Halal. So we started Halal Life platform, which does use blockchain, artificial intelligence, and new technology, and to do it is self-generated certification. So what we have done, basically, we went and we are working with SMIC standards. We have formed a committee, religious committee, that was formed out of the IOMS, the Islamic Union of Muslim Scholars. We have, alhamdulillah, very famous scholars in our committee. We also have Halal Science Committee. What we are doing now, we are doing comparison study, where we compare all standards around the Muslim world, but we adopt, of course, SMIC as the best, because SMIC is supposed to be, to merge all those standards. However, our platform should, in way, self-generate the certification, but would respect those standards, which means using artificial intelligence, a company or butcher, whatever firm, they will basically be told which standard or what method or what standard they need to use based on which company or which country they are going to export to. So basically, I can probably share with you more information, more presentation, and for everyone. We tend to do the Halal convention under the Halal company in Qatar this year in November, and Halal division that's under the Chamber of Commerce of Muslim countries. It's also under OIC. That was formed back in 2017 to basically standardize the certification process. So we have SMEEK and we have that Halal company. Probably Mr. Uvut, he knows more about this as well. But unfortunately, with pandemic, we cannot do that now. So probably we are going to merge or move that to virtual. For virtual summit, we were supposed to launch the Halal Expo 360. It is a platform that use artificial intelligence like augmented reality, virtual reality, etc., augmented translation to do the event and connect businesses B2B and also connect consumers, and to organize virtual events like this, or decide where and exchange more data. So I will also explain this or share more information. Now we are speeding up after I spoke to Mr. Marwan. We're trying to speed up the platform, and we got an interest from the Qatar Chamber of Commerce and others. So we are trying to speed up with the engineers so that way, inshallah, probably you guys you can use in North America. We will be sharing more with Mr. Marwan, more details. Meanwhile, also, we were going to launch an expo in Qatar, as I said, with the Singularity U and UN addressing what we called halal economy for ethical trade. And that's a very important subject for us. Also, we were going to cover the SDG security, food security, and this is big subject right now that it should be addressed with I think you guys should do a seminar for that. Especially with the pandemic, we are speaking about food security. We need to address halal food security as well. Meanwhile, we did introduce your study, Mr. Marwan, that you tend to do, and we are going to be contributing as company to your study. Also, we would like to use that study, take it as model study, and move it to Australia, move it to New Zealand, move to the UK, move to other countries where we can get more data. So we don't want to do it all in the US or in Canada. We should also have that study stamped in other countries, and we need to collect the data to become global data for us. Okay. This is in summary. I don't want to take too much time from your time, probably different time zones, but I can always share more information, inshallah, by email. And any questions, I will be more than happy to answer them.
Marwan, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah, Dr. Tawfiq, we recently have this issue, and I'm glad Dr. Muhammad Ali from Dubai is online. We have now security issues on doing witnessing auditing, and that is because some auditors cannot go to the plant. Of course, the slaughtermen are there, that is for the beef and the chicken. But I'm talking about for the processed items, Food security is very important. Two of my staff are taking some classes on it, but it was canceled because of the COVID-19. There are many other virtual audits that we're thinking about how to do, but we're waiting to hear from the accreditation bodies on how to go about that. But keep up the good job. I will share, you can share my email from Marwan, or just go to our website, ushalalcertification.com.
Okay. Yeah, of course, we are working. We are not here to. It's about collaboration. It's not about competition at all. And we are working with everyone. We are also working with firms like TE Food, like Ripe.io, like IBM. We are working with IBM Hyperledger. And also we are trying, I am already in contact with few brothers from UAE, Saudi Arabia. So this should be collaborative work. It's not competition. That's what I said back in Malaysia when I was there. This is about collaboration because it's halal. It's not, it's not competition. It's halal. It's collaboration. That's what it is. So inshallah, yes, I would like to stay in contact with you.
Dr. Yusuf O'Toole from England, I saw he mentioned to everybody that halal has been abused. There are many things that people just come up with fatwas, you know. You pay some people in Hyderabad, they give you a fatwa. You know, we're not looking at the bad apples. We're looking at the good things that is coming up. We have seen people that have interesting things that surprised me in my life, to see halal water, you know, and halal refrigerators and halal microwaves, which sometimes I don't know how to comprehend it. But thank you very much. And Dr. Yusuf O'Toole, you said that that's your point that you said. So I was just responding to you. Don't look at the exceptions. Look at the main thing.
I think we have a question from Muhammad Ali because he is raising his hand. So feel free to unmute yourself and ask or make a comment.
In fact, it is not a question. It is only I need to confirm the information which is being delivered by Mr. Ghanim and also Mr. Ihsan. He mentioned about the CIMIC standard. We are all working, in fact, as IAC, we are accredited almost 60 certification body in more than 35 countries. 45 or 50 of them, they are CIMIC accredited because CIMIC is the main OIC standard for worldwide recognized, and it is being based on the international conformity assessment standard. It comprises all the related conformity and recognized, even recognized by the other accreditation bodies worldwide, because at the end of the day, all halal products are characteristics and related to the other attributes of any product, food safety, quality, and halal wholesome is one integrated part. This is one thing. Maybe I forgot the other question because we are close to Fajr time and Sahur.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Keep up the good job, Dr. Mohammed.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Khan.
We have 10 minutes left. If anybody want to make a comment, feel free.
Well, I just want to make a comment. I want to thank everybody. I know it was short notice, but I think Marwan will keep a good tab on all our emails to inform you. We really want to use this day today. I wish we were in person where we'll all celebrate and eat, Muslims and non-Muslim, and give away the awards like we did last year. So people like OIC, Ihsan, and CIMIC, and IAC, Dubai Accreditation Authority in Dubai, in UAE, and JAC. So hopefully the standards are there, like we're saying. Imam Yahya mentioned about the standards, and he doesn't really know the details. It's been going on, but yes, we're trying to combine many things. People ask me, what is halal tourism? It's not just having a separate beach for the women or having separate swimming pool. It's the environment, the pictures around, having illegal mixing, and you know, so many things in the halal industry. Oh, Abi Hussein is there, you know, mashallah. Anyhow, one of our recipients is online, but we've already presented the awards. With that, I thank you all. I think I have to go get ready. You see, one of my staff is taking pictures with all the certificates. Since we're not in person, we'll just put it in next year's awards, or when American Halal Council have theirs.
Thank you very much, everybody. I just noticed that reporter Rabah Filali from Al Hurra just joined us. Sorry he missed most of it, but welcome on board. This was Nice to see everybody from different countries to join us, talk about halal, share concerns about halal. We have more sessions to come. The next week's session is about halal research. We will be posting it so everybody can join us again and invite others. This is a very critical study. I don't think it's been done before in the US. Therefore, it is going to shed a lot of light and bring attention to the halal market.
And I encourage everybody to.
Tawfiq, you want to add something before you leave?
Yeah, I have a question to Sister Sarah. Do you think that the study that you will be doing can be made in a way that we can use it as model to be used somewhere else, like in Australia or UK or France or other countries? Can we do that? Can we build library that we can have them also go and do it somewhere else?
And I would say that there is no issue with collaborating and internationalizing the research. But how and what the best way to do it is something that we should actually ask the researchers. I'm more of a presenter than the actual market researcher, so I would be afraid to say anything definite. But I think, yeah, there's always room for collaboration and for working in multiple markets, although we're focusing in the US. But yeah, definitely. And Marwan would be able to answer too.
Tawfiq, yes, thank you. We will invite Dr. Mugahed and Myra to next week's session. Hopefully they can join us. And they will address as well as answer as many questions as possible. If they can't, we will probably have some kind of recorded video from them to shed light on the research and how it's going to make a difference for all of us, consumers, businesses, and everybody.
Thank you very much, Marwan. Thank you, everybody. I think I have to leave now.
Thank you.
And for everybody, the recipients, we know you deserve much more. And inshallah, may Allah reward you for all your good deeds, except especially the police sheriff. He especially takes a big risk in going to the restaurant and delivering to about 40. We have about 40 or 50 senior citizens that cannot go. I am a senior, but he doesn't come to me. Well, I take care of myself. But they do a lot of work. Amira Badawi and Mama Muna from American Muslim Senior Society, CMA, and in Virginia you have a few. I don't want to name them all because everybody is doing a good job this year about food distribution. And there's a lot of online things. And Marwan, thank you. And assalamu alaikum.
Before we leave, I'm going to ask Brother Rabah if he has any questions since he's a reporter, and before we leave the meeting.
No, thank you guys for the idea. So actually, it's pushing me to think to do something about the halal food and the halal market in the United States. And it's amazing idea the way this very short time I have been there. I'm sorry, I was working on some of my stories. It was a great pleasure to meet every one of you guys. And thank you especially for our brother Marwan, who is doing that. And I will be in touch with every one of you guys in very soon time. Thank you one more time and bless you all.
By the way, I have shared my email online if you need my email.
Oh, yeah.
And also our website. I see Ibu Tati wants to say something from Malaysia. Okay, go ahead.
Indonesia.
Indonesia. Selamat datang. Okay.
Yeah.
Terima kasih. Okay. I'm happy. I already got your email. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. I'm
in
here.
touch.
I'm working for a TV as a reporter. I'm also international reporter, and it's always a great pleasure to hear from you all, guys. Thank you so much.
Will you share this?
Posting this video of this recording on our website in a couple of days, if you need.
Okay, that's good.
And you share your email too. Share your email.
Okay. You have my information, and I will be in touch with every one of you guys.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, again, and have a good evening. Enjoy your iftar if you're still fasting. And
Mr. Marwan, for fundraising, are you going to do the update of the you know, if there is any amount? I mean, are you going to be given an update about fundraising for the studies?
well, right now, as I mentioned, we need 85,000 for the study, and there is a link on our website for donation. If you need to contribute some different way, let me know. We can arrange it, inshallah.
Okay. Okay, I'll discuss with you, inshallah.
Thank you.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum assalam.
Salam.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.
Salam.
Thank
Ihsan.
Assalamu alaikum.
Tashakir, Ihsan.
Welcome. See you in Istanbul.
Inshallah, inshallah. If Tawfiq doesn't make it virtual, you know, I'm looking forward to the best fish meals in Istanbul. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi